In this video I'm going to show you how to solve every quadratic equation in the world. Now, what makes an equation quadratic is that instead of just having terms with the variable x, we also have terms with the variable x squared. Each quadratic equation can be written in the following form: a times x squared plus b times x plus c equals 0, where a, b and c are some constants. This is the so-called normal form. As an example, quadratic equation could look like this: 2 times e to the 2x minus 3x plus 5 is equal to 0. Here a would be 2, b would be minus 3, and c would be 5. Sometimes you'll see these equations in the form 2 times x squared minus 3x is equal to minus 5. This is just another form of presenting the equation above. We can always write this equation in the normal form by adding 5 to both sides. We'll end up with this normal form equation. Now there are 3 cases of quadratic equations. Your method of solution depends on which case we're looking at. The first case is that b is equal to 0. So what it means, we have a term with x squared and a constant, but no term with just x. Example of this would be 3 times x squared minus 1 is 0. So in general, this equation is of the form a times x squared plus c is 0. And method of solution is always the same. First, we subtract c from both sides, ending up with a times x squared is minus c. Then we divide by a, so we have x's in the left hand side and everything else in the right hand side. And then we take the square root, provided that minus c divided by a is greater or equal to 0. If this term is negative, then we're not allowed to take the square root. In the solution, x will be plus minus the square root of minus c over a. And notice for quadratic equations of this form, we're either going to have 0 solutions if this operation is not allowed, or we're going to have 2 solutions. As an example, we could take 2x squared minus 32 is 0. So what we do, we subtract c from both sides, so minus 32. We end up with 2x squared is 32. We divide by a, the factor in front of x squared, and we get the left hand side x squared, the right hand side 16. Now 16 is positive, we're allowed to take the square root, and we end up with x is equal to plus minus the square root of 16. The square root of 16 is just 4. So we had two solutions, either x is plus 4 or x is minus 4. Now the second case would be that instead of b being 0, we have the constant term c equals to 0. So this would be an equation, for example, 2x squared plus 3x is equal to 0. In general, we're going to have a x squared plus b x is equal to 0. So the method of solving this is that first we divide by a. We're going to end up with x squared plus b divided by a times x is equal to 0. Then we take x as a common factor, so we can write the left hand side as x times x plus b divided by a is equal to 0. Now if the left hand side must equal 0, then either x has to be 0 or x plus b divided by a has to be 0. So this implies that either x is 0 or x plus b divided by a is 0. Okay, here we have one solution, and from this we can write out that x must be minus b divided by a. So again, we have two solutions. An example of this case would be 2x squared plus 2x is 0. First thing is divide by a. We get x squared plus 2 divided by 2x is 0. Take x as a common factor, so we have x times 1 plus x. So 1 from here and x from here. So now either x is 0 or 1 plus x is 0 And this is the same thing as x is minus 1. So our solution is x is equal to 0 or x is equal to minus 1. And third case is the most general and difficult case. Here all of the terms are non-zero. So for example, x squared plus 2x minus 3 is 0. So this was of the general form a x squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Now to solve this, we have to use the formula for solving quadratic equations. And the formula says that if we have an equation of this form, then the solutions of x are minus b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. And now we have a square root here. This is called the discriminant of the function, of the equation. So if b squared minus 4ac is smaller than 0, then there are no solutions. So we can't take the square root of a negative number. If it is exactly 0, there's one solution. And if there's 2, then we have, if the discriminant is greater than 0, then we have 2 solutions. So we have number plus some number or minus some number. In the case this is equal to 0, the 2 would be the same. An example of using the formula, we could take the equation 2x squared minus 4x minus 4 is 0. So here we would have a equals to 2, b equal to minus 4, and c equal to minus 4. So our solutions would be minus b, that is minus minus 4 or 4, plus minus the square root of minus 4 squared minus 4 times a, which is 2, times c, which is minus 4. We need to divide all of this by 2 times a is 2 times 2. So 4 is 4, and inside the square root we have minus 4 squared, 16 minus 4 times 2 times minus 4 minus 32 divided by 4. And this is 4 plus minus the square root of 16 plus 32 divided by 4. Okay, so we have the square root of 48 here. Okay, now we notice that 48 is the same thing as 4 times 12. Okay, or 4 times 4 times 3. So this would be 4 plus minus square root of 4 squared times 3 divided by 4, or 4 plus minus 4 square root of 3 divided by 4. So here we're taking the 4 squared out of the square root, or in a more simple form, 1 plus minus square root of 3. These are our solutions.